briefly back. Happy New Year and all that. We're in the new decade. To celebrate, we're going to do the Heavensturn event. I did mention, I believe, that I was going to do that, so we'll do that, but just in a minute. A bit of an update on the Epilogue and Chapter 2, which is Heavensturn, basically. It's going to be delayed further. I'll basically have that in the description. I'll try and keep any future announcement in a description of some kind, if because there are plans to just keep doing at least the events. Anyway, enough of that, enough rambling. Let's go talk to Nezumi Bugyo. But you have the air of someone who has spent time abroad. Are you perhaps an adventurer, a woman of practice, practiced in acquainting yourself with various cultures? I come from the Far East, you see, where we celebrate Heavensturn, just as the people of Eorzea do. But rather than a god, like your 12, we choose an animal to represent the coming year. This year belongs to the foremost beast among them, the rat, and celebration of the rat's glory should not, nay, must not be confined to Far Eastern shores. Thus did I don the festive kabuto, in the name of sharing our customs with all the world. I was confident that I could easily surpass my dull-witted compatriots, those who have ventured to these foreign lands representing inferior beasts in years past. In this task, alas, all has not gone to plan. As the rat is considered a symbol of plenty and a harbinger of fortune in my homeland, I thought to grace the people of Eorzea with the opportunity to pound mochi and make advent cakes alongside these lofty creatures. Alas, the people of Eorzea seem loath to touch tubs of mochi lousy with rats, nor eat their laboriously prepared cakes. This can likely be attributed to the cultural differences as I mentioned previously. The trouble with culture bias is, of course, that people often don't recognize it within themselves, let alone make an effort to overcome it on their own. No, if they are to ever understand the rat's superiority, I must do the work of convincing them. Unfortunately, I am uncertain as to what manner of local superstition about rat has given rise to their aversion. Without that knowledge, I have no means of assuaging their discomfort. Might I impose upon you to speak on the townspeople over here on my behalf? I am afraid they will not share their honest thoughts with me for fear of causing offence. You have my thanks. Perhaps you might begin with that elderly woman over there. She refused my invitation to join the festivities earlier. Unsurprising, perhaps, as the elderly are often set in their ways. So you might have noticed that there are players running around. Where am I going? This way. Players running around without names and stuff. So it's something I did on my main account. I turned all the names off, bar party members. It was just getting too much at times. And like when you would fight big fates or the hunts, like the S ranks or the A ranks, there would be so many people that you actually couldn't see any of the enemies, the boss's attacks. So I've turned those off on all my characters basically. I spent the better part of my life trying to keep rats out of the grain stores. I can't imagine why I'd want them touching my food, filthy creatures. And in any case, the idea of animals cooking is ludicrous. Even if there were, say, a particularly intelligent dog, it would still have no hands. Anyway, this seems fairly obvious. Ask anyone, they'll tell you the same. So what I've done is I've just changed it so they don't show the name until you select them, basically. So that's why you see people running around without names. I've also done it for my minion and stuff. Boulder Dash. Let a rat in your pantry and it'll eat you out of house and home. Not cook you dinner. Not that you'd want it to, unless you think pestilence the finest spice. If only a rodent will do for your purposes. However, you might try something like a rat, but rather more sentient. A beast who's beast that's also a man, if you catch my drift. Oh, a Quirin. Quite. They look like rats, squeak like rats, chew through your unintended grain slats like rats, but are not in fact rats. They can even use cutlery. I doubt you'll find anyone here willing to eat food prepared by rats, but Quirin are another story. At least with them, you can be reasonably certain that the rice wasn't pounded with tiny plague-ridden feet. And there's one right over there, Nenarun, I think his name was. Oh. I also haven't played for ages with the minimap down here, so I can forget to look. Nenarun. You have a tale of Heavensturn to tell? Easton says rats bring fortunate fortunes. Cultural different indeed. Limitans think rats are dirty because rats eat everything, even though eating is normal reaction to edible things. We also eat edible things, so often offended by offensive comparison to rats. Nenarun think Quirin in land where rats thought to bring fortune very fortunate. Oh, striking idea strikes me. Nenarun help you make Ratman make rats popular with Limsan populace. Then Quirin gain favour by favourable comparison. Ugh. Good. Then Nenarun follow you as a follower, to help you as helper. You have returned, and I see you have a majestic rodent in your company. This must be a sign that my fortunes are improving as we speak. So in Eorzean culture, rats are considered unclean. That does explain their reactions. Yes, rats and rat-like Quirin both. Too many hasten to hasty judgments. Nenarun think it better to better reputation of rats and Quirin at the same time. Propose we work together. A marvellous idea, as I would expect from one of such furry features and elongated snout. With our wiles combined, we ought to be able to overcome the people's preconceptions, culturally ingrained or no, and bring fortunate fortunes to all. Bugyo, we have a problem. What, another one? Has something gone wrong with the mochi now? Unfortunately so. As you know, I've been hard at work preparing the mochi, pounding rice into an amorphous mass. And all was going to plan, or so it seemed, until the mochi began to jiggle on its own. I'm afraid that it's alive. Yes, I quite understand your surprise, but we have no time for it. I know not whether this issue arose because I used the miraculous yet unpredictable waters of Daitenzan's Soul Spring in the preparation. It seemed a good idea at the time, or if it is simply down to the peculiar aether in this foreign land, but in any case we must act. I propose that we take up arms and cut the mochi into advent cakes before its newfound sentience drives it to get any ideas. What say you, lass? I grant that it is something of a peculiar situation we find ourselves in, but it's dire nonetheless. Nenarun will cut cuttings from Mochi too. Ratman's event important to have cut short. Too important to have cut short. I'm gladdened to hear it, good people of Eorzea. Please join us at the Zephyr Drift at your earliest convenience. I myself shall head there post haste, lest the Mochi wander off. This event has been troublesome indeed, but we shall persevere. We cannot let the year of the rat arrive without proper welcome. So yeah, so Heavensturn has always had like a fate thing, so we're going to be doing another fate. I can't remember them all, but they usually featured like a cyclops or a giant or something pounding the mochi with a massive hammer. I remember one time the cyclops would be doing it at intervals, and you had to run in, do something, and then bugger off before he brought the hammer down, as it were. There was another one where like the Gallicats were attracted to it or whatever. Where is it? I've started already. 10 minutes. 23%, that's alright. Let's help this person out. Donut. Oh yeah. Unfortunately we have to go all the way down to level 5 for this one. Also means I can't oh, I moved over too quickly. Hey. You need to kill these things. So yeah, so you need to be level 15 to get the quest, but oh no, the bird died. But you need to be only need to be level 5 to get the fate. There we go. You get 10 cut mochi. Which is basically the currency. So you just keep doing that fade over and over and you'll get more currency. Oh yeah, I think the Gallicat one... So Gallicats are like winged cats basically. Like a mixture between a cat and a bat. And you had to protect the mochi from the Gallicats or something. I think that was last year's one. I can't remember though. The size, the shape. This is truly magnificent work. You are a rat among men, to be sure. Now Limsans can taste tasty of mochi and see rats bring fortunate fortunes after all. No doubt they would. The issue remains, however, how to entice them to taste it to begin with. Oh, a Far Eastern Bugyo, here for Heavensturn, I see. Oh yeah? Just so, good sir. I am the Nezumi Bugyo, come preparing the traditional Heavensturn advent cake. How might I help you? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lingsath, head of the Culinarians Guild, and proprietor of the Bismarck besides. I've got a solid sense of smell comes with the territory, and I caught a whiff of the most enticing aroma emanating from hereabouts. I reckon it's coming from them advent cakes you mentioned. Try one. These advent cakes freshly cut by Quirin and rats, an adventurer neither Quirin nor rat. So you're one of the chefs. What made these? Remarkable. Didn't know there were Quirin culinarians. Oh, no chef, only helper, helping with cuts. Give yourself some credit. Takes a lot to prepare a dish. And if you put in the work to make these, you're qualified to call yourself assistant culinarian at the least. just as good as it smells. Fascinating texture, really. Chewy, but not in a bad way. The flavour is subtle and just a bit sweet. I can tell you use the right fine rice. Pure water too. There's something else though, such as gives it its perfect consistency. A special technique or something? As you say, we use the finest ingredients from our homeland. The techniques involved are traditional as well. However, I dare say that they are not the special something which you detect. For that, good sir, is passion. Not the sentience. The devotion of myriad rats who made the arduous journey from the Far East to bring fortune to your fair land. The fervent hopes of Nenarune who labours for the sake of his people. This random adventurer's zeal for violence, all have combined to create these superlative advent cakes. Haha, passion, is it? I know something of that myself. Seems you've all got a lot in common, despite coming from different places, It just so happens I've got an interview with the Arbor Herald later on. If that's all right, I'd like to mention the advent cakes. Let people know they can get them during Heavensturn. Could be a good opportunity for cultural exchange and all that. The Harper Herald, so many readers would read of our mochi, and the public will have a little excuse to eschew our advent cakes once a renowned culinarian has vouched for them. On behalf of rats everywhere, thank you for your assistance, sir. And you as well, adventurer. Your service shall not be forgotten. I will personally ensure that rats watch over you wherever you may go. Please don't trouble yourself. I hardly did anything, really. Very well. Now, if you'll excuse us, we must go forth and prepare to bring our advent cakes to the masses, who shall soon doubtless be clamouring for a fair plague's worth of rats to descend on their city. It doesn't matter which one you choose, because you can buy the other one with the cut mochi. And there's the achievement. I was going to say Nenarune's actually using the Lalafell emotes, because if we got this person to do a cheer or whatever, they would do the same thing where they jump and spin. So as I said, you can get the other helmet for 5 mochi. So if we just look at those, try those on. I don't particularly like them, but you know, they're seasonal items, so you can collect them, put them in the armoire, as opposed to having to put them in the armoire, so you don't have to like put them in your inventory or whatever. And then this one is the white, gold, and red. I personally prefer the silver, but you know, might as well get both. Then you've got Heavensturn Bounty, which is a tabletop item you put in your house. And then you've got Zoni, which is just gathering food basically, and Magic Prism Advent Cakes. So what I'm going to do is I'll buy one of these, and then we'll buy 2 lots of this, and I'll show you one. And as usual, you get 10 per thing. So I can't show you the Heavensturn Bounty, but we can show you the magic prisms. There you go. I know it was a short one, but then you know, it was just for the event. As I said, there'll be more information about the hiatus in the description. I'm trying to keep announcements and stuff out of videos so they don't get too dated. Considering the quests are probably changing eventually, then it might be dated anyway. But anyway, so with that, we'll catch you next time, whenever that is.